Hey everyone, hope you're all having a great weekend here. I just wanted to make a quick video in response to EpicRV's video entitled Why I Started Stacking Silver Revisited. And I think right now, just given the fluctuating price and the move down in the price of silver, it's a really good time to just kind of revisit and look at why we all started stacking silver in the first place. But before I get into the new information on silver and just kind of look at where we've been over the last couple of months, I just wanted to tell you guys a quick little story about how I got into stacking silver in the first place. And it really goes back all the way to 2007. I believe I told the story how I kind of got into all this through the first presidential campaign of Ron Paul. And if you guys were following it, then you would know as well that he made a lot of points about why it's important to invest in precious metals, particularly gold and silver. So I got into it in 2007, and that really resonated with me. However, at the time, I couldn't really afford any silver, which was too bad because the price was really low at that point, and it would have been a great time to get in. So it was a while before I did purchase my first silver, and that's pretty much why my brother and I turned towards coin roll hunting. Just because we could get, base metals like copper and nickel for really low prices with no downside risk. So it was still a couple years before we started to make our first silver purchases, and I believe we made our first silver purchase not until 2011. But in EpicRV's video, he makes the point that he started stacking silver for, his primary reason was impending inflation and hyperinflation, and mainly due to the government printing money. And, that's the exact reason why my brother and I stack silver as well. We're concerned about the purchasing power of the dollar, specifically its decline over the next coming years. And even though I've kind of changed my opinion, at least on the inevitability of hyperinflation, I don't really know if that's going to come, sooner rather than later. But, the same as EpicRV, we are pretty sure that, in the coming years, there's going to be a huge devaluation of the purchasing power of the dollar. And so, we're looking for to silver for, a little bit of investment in order to, not investment, insurance in order to protect our wealth. And just like EpicRV was making a great point, I think that this doesn't get said enough in a lot of silver videos, particularly in the silver community. Epic mentioned that he did invest also in real estate and stocks, which is the same stance that my brother and I take. We're not going to put all of our wealth into silver. As I mentioned in a previous video, we don't look at silver as an investment. Rather, we look at it as an asset. Which means that, as you invest in real estate and stocks, those are your wealth generating assets and investments. And we're going to look to silver, put 10% in precious metals. That way, when there is a devaluation of the dollar, every year with inflation going up, we do protect our wealth, and then hopefully the wealth generating assets continue to produce wealth, and then we have the insurance in our back pocket with precious metals. So again, Epic made a really good point. We're stacking silver for pretty much the exact same reasons as him. But just looking to some of the more recent reasons, just revisiting whether it's a good idea to continue to stack silver. Just looking at the screen here, this was a release by the Bank of Canada on May 29th, and this came as no surprise. The Bank of Canada is maintaining the interest rate at 1%, and if you follow the Canadian media up here, I know some in the US won't, just because it's more important to see what the Fed is doing, but it seems like every month there's a new article coming out or something in the news saying, interest rate rise is right around the corner. But of course, they can't really raise interest rates at this point. And really, I don't know how they're going to raise interest rates in the future, seeing how much debt that we're in. But again, this came as no surprise. They're keeping the interest rate at 1%, at least into the foreseeable future. And, I think they're going to do what the Fed is doing. I think the Fed is committed to not increasing the interest rate until 2015. And I would think that the Bank of Canada is going to do pretty much the same thing. But not only that, also too, if we look at this chart here, this is a chart of the Canadian M2 money supply. And if you don't know what M2 is, it's just an aggregate that takes into account M1, which is, right here it says narrow money, which is just coins and banknotes in circulation, as well as other assets that are convertible into cash. So again, that's just our currency in circulation. And then M2 also includes short-term time deposits in banks, which is just short-term savings accounts, so money that's easily able to get out of the bank. But if we look at the M2 money supply here, this is a chart from January 2008 all the way to June 2013. So in that time, we've gone almost 50% increase in just 5.5 years in the M2 money supply. So again, if we're as we were looking in 2007 as our time for, using government's money printing and devaluation of the dollar, that's gotten even worse over the years, and there's really nothing changed in our reasons on why we should stack silver. In fact, if you look at this little part of the chart right here, it seems that the Canadian M2 money supply is increasing at one of its quickest rates over the last 5 years. So just to answer Epic's question, and again, a lot of people have done some really good reply videos to his question and video as well, but nothing has changed for us. We're still going to be looking to precious metals in order to protect some of our wealth, and hopefully we can keep our purchasing power going into the future, and hopefully as we invest in other areas as well, able to keep it as insurance to make sure that we're not losing any purchasing power. But also too, Epic did mention that there are some residuals that come with the stacking of silver. Particularly, he mentioned the YouTube community and the debates that we all have. I completely agree with him on that. He also made some book recommendations, and I have no problems with the books he mentioned. He mentioned Dave Ramsey's book and also Warren Buffett's biography. I'm a little bit against Dave Ramsey just because he has come out, as Epic mentioned, against precious metals. And in fact, he had a really negative rant on Peter Schiff at one point and went into some ad hominem attacks and even some attacks on Peter Schiff's father, Erwin Schiff. So even though I don't agree with his precious metal stance, I agree with Epic that Dave Ramsey has some good financial advice, particularly with debt and getting out of debt. So those are great book recommendations, but also too, I would just talk about Murray Rothbard's book, What Has Government Done to Our Money? That book really helped me to see, exactly what money is and, how governments are devaluing the dollar. That's not really a financial advice book. It's more on the theoretical end. But again, as I mentioned, it definitely helped me and really kind of kick-started me into getting into silver, particularly coming off the Ron Paul campaign in 2008. So yeah, really good video by EpicRV. Just thought that I'd put my opinion out there as well. If you guys want to stay tuned, we have a penny box result video coming out later today. It was one of our best penny results that we've had yet, particularly with King George and American Wheat Cents. So I'm going to put that up right now. Let me know in the comment section below, though, whether you guys have revisited the whole silver stacking question and also what your opinions going forward are. So that's it, guys. If you could like, comment, and subscribe, we always greatly appreciate it. And again, have a great day, and I'll see you next video. Bye for now.